Well, hello again. Just watched another one. This one was not recommended by anyone I know. I actually first heard about it on Papa Meat channel, if any of you guys watch him. He's good times. Anyway, the movie is called Dagon, and it's based on an H.P. Lovecraft story, which those are interesting. Lots of like underwater sea creature horror stuff, if you're not familiar. I'm sure you are, because like it's a pretty Cthulhu, like everyone knows who that is. So anyway, that was tonight's movie, and as usual, spoilers, because I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So it starts out, there's this couple, they're on a boat, doing a vacation, I guess, off the coast of, I don't know where. They mentioned the city of Santiago being like really close, so I'm assuming Chile or Spain or something like that. I'm not really sure though. The Lovecraft stories all take place in like the maritime area, like New England and that, like Maine and Massachusetts and stuff like that. But this one, I think they took creative liberty and put it in like either Spain or Chile or something. I don't really remember the original story. I did read it, but I don't remember if the setting was outside of the standard New England thing. So I don't know. Anyway, not important. Alright, so this couple's on this boat with their two friends, another couple, and the relationship's kind of strange, because I mean, like, the first thing that you see basically pretty much is they have like a little brief argument about him checking his stocks, and then she throws his laptop in the ocean, and it's like, okay, that's a little, I don't know. I'd be pretty pissed if that happened. That's overreacting. You don't destroy someone's property like that because you're having a little bit of an argument. I don't know. But anyway, whatever. That's like neither here nor there. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Or maybe a Cthulhu in my throat. Oh my god, that was stupid. Yeah, so they're on the boat, and then a storm comes in. But the weird thing about the storm is it's coming like from over the land towards the sea. So that's odd. But it gets pretty rough. The one guy tries to, steer the boat out further or closer to shore or something, just out of the way of the storm, and gets wrecked, hits a rock, and one of the ladies, the partner of the guy who was driving the boat, was downstairs getting changed, and when the boat smashes, the rock goes through, hits her leg, she's hurt. So they need to find help. So the other couple, they take the little life raft, and they head to a little fishing town they see on the coast there somewhere. It looks pretty run down and disheveled, but I mean, it's a town. Someone will be there. They land. There's this priest guy who's like, I mean, how are we gonna get them? And they see a fishing boat. They end up going on the fishing boat, and these people look really creepy. Like, we're talking like pale as hell and just off. Something's off. So the girl stays with the priest. The priest says, "I'm gonna take you to, go see the police or whatever, and we can get an ambulance and all that stuff, and whatever you got to do, emergency stuff." And Dude Bro's gonna go out with the two fishermen to try to save his friends. Cool. So that happens. They go back to the boat, and the guy goes down, and friend is nowhere to be seen. Neither of them. Interesting. Good times. So he heads back. The girl, in the meantime, is wandering through the streets and is trying to find this hotel where she can use a phone or something. And yeah, it's sketchy. Like, there's weird people in the streets that are like moving all zombie-like and strange. They're not zombies, but like they're just, something is really off about this town. She goes in and attempts to communicate with the guy and ends up being jumped, and then it cuts to Dude Bro on the boat. And so they go back to shore. He follows suit too, goes back to the hotel. The priest tells him, go to the hotel. She went to Santiago. She'll be back in 1 hour, because we don't have a police station in this small town. So that's like the nearest one, or, paramedics or anything like that. So that's where she's gone. And so go to the hotel. So he goes to the hotel, struggles to communicate with the owner of the hotel. Notices the guy has like friggin' gills, and also notices the priest had like webbed hands. It's like, okay, something's fucking weird here. They're all like inbreds or something. I don't know. Well, I mean, I do know because I just watched it, but like, he doesn't know. Gets a room. It's like the shittiest room in the world. Like, trying to think of if I've been in a hotel that was that bad. Not even close to that bad. I can't even think of a shitty hotel chain that would be that bad. But it's literally like you go on YouTube and you look up, worst hotel in London or something, and then this pops up, and it's like, oh my god, there's like mold in the bathroom. The sheets are stained with like blue stuff. Ugh. So he's like, no. So he sits on the chair and just chills, and passes out. Has a little bit of a nightmare dream of. Oh right, okay, sorry. So I forgot to say at the beginning. Typical of these videos. At the beginning, he like snaps out of a nightmare with this siren girl underwater. Who apparently it's revealed that he's been having like recurring nightmares with this girl. Anyway, he passes out in the hotel and has one of those dreams that the girl's in the hotel too, and it's like he approaches her and then like octopus tentacles fly out of her mouth, and he wakes up and he's like, what the fuck? So he goes to the window. It's still pouring rain and storming outside. He looks up and there's like a crowd of people in the streets, and they're like all moving like disoriented and strangely like zombies, but they're not zombies. But one of them sees him and is like, and they make some weird ungodly noise. They all charge into the hotel. He narrowly escapes. He escapes briefly, and he runs into this old man who is like has been living there for countless days. Tells a story when he was a kid or whatever. That's how the church was established. I think his dad was the one that one of the first sacrifices or something like that, and basically if he didn't follow this Dagon or whatever, he would be murdered or something. And he's like, okay, so like why don't they bother me? He's like, I'm just a drunk, crazy person, because he was like completely drunk. I mean, I guess that's they're not going to bother with a drunk guy. He's no threat to them whatsoever. He's going to probably fucking just end up killing himself anyway. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I guess something snapped this guy out of his, I'll just exist, I guess, and slowly kill myself. So like, maybe I'll help this dude. So they go to, can't remember what building it was, but some building where there's an actual car. Like, there are no cars in this town. It's really like old school fishing village. Like, we're talking, turn of the century, pre anything useful. Yeah, so he sees his car, and then the old man stumbles out and distracts the two guys that are by the car, and Buddy here tries to steal the car to go off and get help or something. Oh, also, the old guy before all this happened, he like ends up telling him basically, yeah, your girlfriend and your other friend are dead. Like, good times. Oh shit, I forgot more things. See, I'm absolutely terrible at this. I need to have a script next time. This is just pathetic. As he was running away from them before he runs into the old man, he ends up going into this like warehouse thing where he sees all these like skins of people. Like, so they skin people, and I guess eventually it's revealed, I guess, that they like wear the skin or something. And his one buddy, the sailor guy, sees his skin hanging there. Anyway, so he's dead. Go figure. What was I? He attempts to steal the car, but he doesn't know how to hotwire it, so he ends up making the horn go off, and that alerts everyone. There's a big friggin' thing, and where to go from there? Yeah, they basically beat the shit out of him, they capture him, and then he wakes up in this holding cell area. And it turns out his girlfriend's in there, and as well as the old man, the drunk guy or whatever, they're both in there. He's like, you told me she was dead, and he's like, yeah, she's as good as dead, basically. Or something like that. I can't really remember. He spoke in like a really thick accent and a deep voice, so I couldn't make out a lot of the things he was saying. I guess it would have helped to watch it on subtitles, but that's the impression I got. And then they noticed that their other friend, the one that was injured in the boat, is in the corner there. So she's alive too. So they lost the one friend, but his girlfriend and his other friend are there. So cool beans. Well, not really, because then the crowd approaches and they start taking them to be sacrificed. The injured girl that they just found there with them, I can't remember her name. Vicky, haha. So the girlfriend is Barbara and the other friend is Vicky. So Vicky ends up breaking free and grabbing a knife or something and ends up like killing herself, saying, I'm not being a part of this shit, I'd rather die, I'm like injured and pretty much on the verge of death, I'm not being sacrificed and tortured, fuck that. So she basically, what is it called when they, like the Japanese samurais gut themselves? What is it? I don't remember. She does that, so that's fun. And they capture the other people. And he escapes somehow. They drag her off, and before he can escape, she's like out of visual range. And he escapes by... Fuck, I can't remember how he escaped. He ended up escaping somehow. Anyway, long story short, he ends up... oh no, they do take him. Okay, so they take him, he doesn't escape, sorry. My brain is just, 6 brain cells all firing at once, disagreeing with each other. You know how it is. So he's in like a skinning shack with the old guy, and they skin the old guy alive. It's pretty graphic, actually. They like peel his face off. It's yeah, it's something. It's well done, but it's pretty gross. Anyway, the whole time they're doing this, the guy notices, like, the guy starts praying in Latin or in Spanish or something, so the other guy, our, like, protagonist, starts doing the Lord's Prayer or something along those lines for him, too, just as, like, the last rites. As they're about to kill him, the priestess, like, the siren girl stops him. Oh, fuck, see, I forgot more things. So before, jumping back again, when... he was in the hotel, or the whatever, trying to escape people. That other building that wasn't the hotel. He opens the door and he runs in, and there's that siren girl in the bed. And basically she's like, yeah, I've been like waiting for you. You see me in your dreams, etc., etc. And she's, as a siren, obviously, she's like kind of seducing him, but he snaps out of it and like, no, my girlfriend. Like, she's like, even if she's dead, she's still like, whatever. So they like stop making out, and he sees that she has gills and tentacles for legs, and he's like, fuck this, and he just takes off. Anyway, so forwarding again back to the skinning shack, the siren girl priestess woman stops them just as they're about to like slit his throat, and like, no, he's mine, don't fucking touch this guy. He's having none of it. he's alive, so he's happy. He ends up, she says something along the lines like, bring him to somewhere, blah, 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 and then leaves. And then the two guys prepare to take him down or whatever. And as they're undoing his harnesses to take him where this siren girl wants him to go, he ends up killing them and kills the priest and like guts him, and his intestines come out. And he's like, there you go. How do you like that, you some bitch? And he grabs a can of kerosene, and basically he's ready to burn the whole town down at this point. So cut to a scene where he's wandering around and he's looking for anything. He goes to the church. He figures there's going to be something there that'll help him find his girlfriend, who is not dead after all, because he found her in that thing. I know I'm jumping everywhere, but just try to follow with me. Even I probably can't if I watch this again. But so he goes to the church and he's looking around and he sees a cabinet and he goes to open it, and it's a secret door that's leading down into like an underground thing. So he goes down there. And there is a sacrificing area with a big like pool or pit or well or something. His girlfriend is being, well, she's like stark naked, blood on her. I don't know if it's hers or if they put blood. I'm assuming it's hers. They must have cut her or something. And they hoist her up on these chains, and they're holding her over the pit, and her blood's like dripping into, his blood sounds like that. Blood is dripping into the water, and the water starts moving, so Dagon obviously is coming, and they start praying and chanting, Dagon, Dagon, blah, 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 blah. And they slowly start lowering her, and so Buddy Boy here, I don't actually know the protagonist's name, so I'm going to call him Buddy. So Buddy comes in, and he realizes what's going on, and he basically sneaks up behind the crowd and douses them in kerosene or gasoline or whatever he grabbed from the skinning shack there, and lights them all on fire. So it's like chaotic. One of them hits the chain, and then his girlfriend like plunges into the water, like bloosh, like she's underwater now. So he's frantically trying to pull her up. Finally gets her up, and she's all covered in like black goo and like in shock or something. She's like just kill me. Like, it's too late for me, kill me. He's like, I'm not fucking killing you. Like, no, I'm gonna take you down. And this is when Dagon reveals his ugly, hideous face with tentacles and stuff. And he comes out, grabs her, pulls her down. She's still chained, so rips her arms off at the elbows, and her arms are hanging there. And he's like, for fuck's sakes. Like, fucking, can't anything go right today? We've all had days like that, right? Anyway. So that happens. She's dead, clearly. He, whatchamacallit. I did take some mild notes here, bear with me. Oh my god, these are terrible. I may as well not have taken notes. So, basically it's revealed that, like, one of the weird creature things takes off his mask, and it's like a Cthulhu-looking head with tentacles and stuff. It's not Cthulhu, obviously, but it's like a creature that looks kind of like that. He's like, yeah, so, like, your mom and me, you know. So you're my son, you know what I mean? And then the Siren Girl's like, yeah, and I'm your sister, you know, and you're gonna be my lover now, which is okay. Forever. And yeah, we're all children of Dagon. And he's like, fuck Dagon. Anyway, yeah. So that accumulates in him basically dousing himself in gasoline, and he's like, fucking, I'm gonna kill myself. He starts to see himself change. He has like gills starting to form slowly, and he's like, no, I'm not dealing with this. You know, my first friend there, Vicky, she had the right idea. Just off yourself. Don't deal with this fish bullshit. You don't need that in your life. You know what I mean? So he doses himself, lights himself on fire. A fish priestess, Siren Girl, like, tackles him into the well, and they fall under the water, and she's swimming around, and I guess for the sake of putting more boobs in the movie, she's naked suddenly, and he's like burnt and charred, and like his skin is like falling off, kind of, sort of, and his gills are working and blood comes out of them, and then he realizes, I can breathe underwater, what the hell? And she's all smiling and happy, and then I guess he just accepts it. Maybe either he just is like, well, fuck, you know what, I mean, where am I going from here? I'm not coming back to where I was in life, so let's just go with it. Or his brain is like transformed along with his body into like accepting it and being a child of Dagon. And they swim off together, and it was a very romantic ending. So that was really cool. I mean, I love Lovecraft stories and stuff. Like, there's some controversial stuff. There's some, let's be real, there's a little bit of racism in the stories. So, I mean, take that, kind of ignore that. It doesn't excuse it by any means. But, I mean, this movie had none of it except being racist against fish people. Which, you know what? I'm not a bigot, but I'm kind of for being racist against killer fish people that try to sacrifice you to their god. So, fuck them, I say. They can go back to Atlantis. Wow. Okay, but seriously, racism is fucked. Don't deal with it. It's horrible shit. People are idiots. Anyway, yeah, so that's the story. And then it fades to black. So, yeah, happy fish boy and happy fish girl are gonna have happy fish babies with happy fish god. That was Dagon. It was cool. It wasn't like a high budget movie by any means, but it was cool. It had enough of a budget to be pretty solid. The graphics on Dagon when he actually comes up are like, it's like 2000s computer generated graphics, so look past that, but otherwise it's pretty solid. They do a lot of like practical effects, like for the blood and stuff, and the creatures are all like props and like prosthetics and stuff, so that was, I always like to see that in movies. But yeah, the big bad is CGI, but that's fine. Doesn't take away from the movie as a whole, in my opinion. What am I going to rate this bad boy? Well, I don't want to keep giving things like 8s and stuff, but it was pretty fun. I don't think I can give it an 8. I'm going to give it a 7.75, so 7 3/4. I think that's reasonable. I do recommend watching it if you like Lovecraft. It's a pretty well done movie. I don't know how many Lovecraftian movies there are out there, but this one was pretty good. So I'm gonna have to look up some more though, to see if this is in fact like the best one or one of the better ones, or if it's like one of the lower end ones. But yeah, check it out. It's a good time. if you like creepy fish people and creepy fish people boobs and people getting cut up and their faces peeled off and, you know, all that kind of creepy stuff, have at her. Take her easy. Bye.